the first emperor's tomb. And it's at the center of what is thought to be the largest burial complex in the world.
The latest scientific techniques unlock the dark truth about the ancient world's lost superpower.
Beneath the famous Terracotta Army lies a hidden world far more complex and terrifying than anyone ever imagined. How could a burial site built over 2,000 years ago hold secrets so unsettling that even experts hesitated to explore them? When advanced scans pierced the earth beneath the first emperor's tomb, the images uncovered a mysterious underground capital and preservation chambers that defy all expectations. These discoveries challenge everything we thought we knew about Qin Shi Huang and the dark legacy he left behind. The first emperor's urgent tomb. Qin Shi Huang's tomb was never meant to be an ordinary burial site. Right after declaring himself the first emperor of China in 221 BCE, he launched a monumental construction project dedicated to his afterlife. Unlike typical tombs, this one was treated as a matter of state survival, demanding resources and workforce on a scale rivaling that required to defend an empire. Ancient records describe the emperor's deep fear of threats, not only in life but beyond death, which drove the urgency and size of this project. The scale of the effort was staggering. Over 700,000 workers were conscripted, including prisoners, soldiers, and artisans pressed into service with little hope of return. Entire regions suffered labor shortages, leading to food scarcity and starvation in farming communities. Excavations revealed the immense burial complex eventually covered approximately 38 square miles, nearly as large as modern Manhattan, a terrifying testament to the emperor's obsession and anxiety. This fear reached a fever pitch after a mysterious nighttime episode in the palace. Attendants recall the emperor waking in terror, striking walls, and demanding the tomb be finished within 24 hours, an impossible order that pushed builders into exhaustion and death. The horror etched on his face suggested he had seen something in his dreams that threatened him even beyond mortality. From that night onward, the project became a frantic race with no room for error or delay. Beyond the workforce strain, the tomb's design revealed a paranoid and elaborate vision. The emperor believed in omens and threats from the heavens, reacting violently to signs like meteor strikes and prophetic messages. His determination to build a place free from rebellion and betrayal meant the tomb wasn't just a resting place. It was a fortified capital meant to outlast the living world's chaos. This mindset reshaped how the tomb was conceived and constructed. Talent was forcibly relocated to the site, and the urgency meant sections of the complex rose at unprecedented speed, far faster than any normal city. These conditions led to thousands of deaths underground, many bodies never recovered. The tomb became not just a monument, but a graveyard for the living, housing countless workers who perished, building a fortress for a ruler's eternal reign. This grim reality remains a chilling backdrop to the site's mystery. Farming crises and social upheaval were direct consequences of diverting so many people to the project. The dead and unseen layers beneath the earth mirror the hidden suffering of the laborers who built the underground world. The tomb's construction reflects a blend of engineering prowess and a desperate attempt to escape fate. The emperor's vision was as much about controlling death as it was about ruling life. While official records presented a tomb as a symbol of power, the scale of darkness lurking below suggested something else entirely. Qin Shi Huang's obsession was driven less by legacy and more by terror of assassination, collapse, and chaos. This urgency fueled the tomb's transformation into a complex fortress rather than a dignified final resting place. The image of fear cast long shadows over the entire empire. The emperor's paranoia was not just reflected in his lifetime, but forever immortalized underground, waiting to be revealed by modern technology. The underground capital revealed. Beneath the surface of the burial mound lies far more than a single chamber or tomb. Advanced scanning technologies like LiDAR, magnetometry, and ground-penetrating radar have uncovered a sprawling underground city engineered with the precision of a living capital. Stretching across hundreds of acres, this network of corridors, chambers, and halls mirrors imperial structures above ground, including palaces, offices, armories, stables, and courtyards. The layout highlights a remarkable level of control and order. Replicating the rigid bureaucracy Qin Shi Huang imposed over his empire. Every corridor and room was designed with a purpose, reflecting a desire to maintain absolute authority even after death. The presence of fortified walls reaching depths of 30 meters shows the engineering effort was not symbolic, but defensive, intended to resist collapse and invasion for eternity. The underground capital functioned as an independent system, which designers constructed to remain operational through permanent underground concealment and complete facility protection. Engineers constructed the building with sealed doors which blocked air movement between its separate rooms because they needed to create a system which would endure all external pressures throughout its entire service life. The emperor established a self-contained existence which would provide him complete control over everything in his domain while preventing future successors from acquiring access to these underground areas. The capital's surface changes created an effective barrier which prevented any attempts to find it. People created new landforms by transforming the environment through human activities, which included their work to level hills and fill valleys and change the paths of rivers. The roads which provided access to the tomb disappeared from all maps, which made it impossible for people to see the actual dimensions of the monument. The soil studies determined that more than 100 million cubic meters of earth were transported, which created enough material to cover all of Manhattan with multiple meters of earth. The construction team, which built the most confidential underground areas, met their end because their employers hired engineers to assassinate them or entomb them within the site to safeguard its advanced burial system. The underground city has maintained its complete structural integrity for more than 2,000 years, according to modern scans, which demonstrate the advanced engineering and design solutions of this site. And just as this vast capital lay hidden, so too did the emperor's army, waiting to mislead anyone who dared approach. The Terracotta Army's true purpose. The famous Terracotta Army was never meant to be the main defense of the tomb. Positioned east of the burial mound, the direction of old enemies, these thousands of clay soldiers stood in realistic battle formation designed to face the foes the emperor feared most. Far from mere statues, the 8,000-plus figures carried real bronze weapons and wore armor marked with authentic battle damage, projecting an illusion of life and readiness. Each soldier's features show remarkable detail. Many retain fingerprints from the craftsmen who shaped them, left deliberately as a sign of respect or superstition, under the belief that the figures were watching. Some soldiers even display red pigment around their mouths, once painted fully to resemble warriors who had tasted blood. Their widened eyes and tight jaws convey expressions more of fear and vigilance than pride, emphasizing the army's lifelike readiness to fight eternally. These soldiers were crafted as a diversion, designed to draw attention and mislead potential intruders away from the true heart of the emperor's tomb. The army's presence was a calculated element of psychological warfare, a false front constructed to protect the underground capital beneath. It was not built to safeguard the emperor directly, but to distract and channel hostile forces elsewhere. The empire entered a state of disarray immediately after Qin Shi Huang passed away on 210 BCE. The generals, through their military operations against Xiang Yu, began to fight against the Qin Empire. The rebel forces unleashed their rage when they reached the tomb complex by destroying the Terracotta Army weapons and breaking clay figures. The presence of burn marks on the wooden roofs demonstrates that intense fires were started above the pits. The rebels maintained complete combat bravery, yet they never ventured toward the central burial mound. Ancient accounts describe how approaching the tomb caused sickness, blurry vision, and breathing difficulties, signs of an unseen but powerful protective presence. Some people tended to believe that remote curses would prevent enemies from entering their territory. The Terracotta Army absorbed the violence meant for the emperor, fulfilling its role as a protective barrier by drawing hostility away. The clay soldiers suffered damage, which allowed their sacrifice to protect the actual tomb that existed beneath. The entire world remained unaware of the actual tomb secret for more than 600 years, because the clay army became the primary focus of interest. The researchers were able to study the extensive hidden area because modern non-invasive scanning technology permitted them to control their investigation without physical contact with the environment. The actual function of the army operates through an advanced method which uses visual elements to maintain the secret about actual burial sites. The stage served as a hiding platform which concealed a historical record that contained both unique and terrifying events. Beneath the enduring clay sentinels lies a secret world waiting to be uncovered, one that reshapes everything we believed about Qin Shi Huang's final plans. Scanning the secret chambers. Albert Lin's groundbreaking work used advanced scanning technologies to peer deep beneath the emperor's tomb without disturbing a single stone. Tools like ground-penetrating radar unveiled secrets hidden for more than 2,000 years, revealing chambers within chambers, each layered with earth, clay, and mysterious high-density materials that blocked radar waves. These layers acted like shields, intentionally placed to hide what lay beyond, signaling that some parts of the tomb were meant to remain unseen. The scans didn't just glimpse empty spaces, they revealed carefully constructed, sealed environments engineered for preservation and defense. One of the most remarkable discoveries was a perfectly rectangular chamber nested inside the emperor's main hall, a structure unknown in any historical texts. This hidden room was small, just large enough to hold a single elevated platform resembling an altar, suggesting a unique purpose beyond conventional burial practices. Soil gas readings above it showed almost no oxygen, and mercury vapor levels were startlingly high, conditions that would halt decay and create what felt like a vacuum. This sealed environment was not just a tomb, it was a biological vault designed to resist time itself. Mapping the void inside this chamber revealed a shape unlike a coffin, a cradle suspended above the floor, meticulously designed to preserve whatever sat inside. When density readings returned, the team identified a small mass consistent with a late-stage fetus, measuring between 30 and 40 centimeters. This discovery stunned Lin and his team, as the elaborate protections around such a fragile form suggested a deliberate intent to preserve it indefinitely. Every layer of earth and clay was crafted to guard this precious cargo against decay, air, and light. Ancient Qin texts referenced a firstborn meant to continue the line inside a so-called eternal palace, phrases once dismissed as metaphorical but now gaining new meaning. Historical records from the court hinted at fears surrounding a child born under ill omens, seen as a threat to the fragile empire. The emperor reportedly imposed strict bans on childbirth during certain celestial events to avoid chaos, signaling deep anxiety about the child's fate. Medical documents mentioned a weak child preserved for a future purpose, not to live among the living, but to serve another role altogether. The chilling intent became clear when historians examined the possibility that the emperor had created this fetus as an eternal spirit safeguard, which he would use in the afterlife. The emperor had established his plan that his spirit would continue to rule through this preserved body, which would remain with him after death. This practice created a new tradition, which combined ancient spiritual beliefs with modern methods of preserving human remains. The fetus functioned as a burial substitute, which designers created to survive threats from both aerial and subterranean environments. The public response to these findings remained subdued because the results contained both sensitive information and contentious elements. The researchers maintained their silence because they understood that the existence of a preserved fetus within a highly secure tomb system created multiple ethical complications, which involved both infanticide and ancient Chinese scientific research methods. This false emperor was intended as protection, a political safeguard ensuring the true emperor's resting place and fate remained hidden. The preserved fetus and hidden body. The discovery of the preserved fetus and the false emperor's body transformed how historians view Qin Shi Huang's tomb and legacy. The fetus chamber, sealed and designed to prevent decay, appeared as a dark biological secret meant to safeguard the emperor's spirit, reflecting fears of death's finality and an attempt to achieve a form of immortality. This preservation was not symbolic, but a calculated technical feat, an eerie blend of belief and early bioengineering. The false emperor's sarcophagus, positioned deliberately at an odd angle, was an intricate political and spiritual deception. The preservation of a body not matching Qin Shi Huang's measurements suggested efforts to mislead tomb robbers and enemies, protecting the real remains or hiding more profound secrets deeper within the underground complex. This unnamed figure served as a stand-in, maintaining the illusion the emperor's body lay safely within the colossal tomb. This duplicity is part of a broader defensive strategy evident in the tomb's design, where deception and protection blend seamlessly. The Terracotta Army, initially believed to be the central safeguard, functioned instead as a distraction, masking the true heart of the tomb and the preserved secrets hidden below. These guarded biological treasures emphasize that the tomb was engineered as a fortress of control, fear, and survival beyond death. The combination of ancient texts with archaeological discoveries verifies this understanding because they explain how body doubles and shadow selves exist to help supernatural watchers. The Qin court maintained political order through extreme methods, which included execution of people who attempted to change their physical appearance without permission. The false emperor concept unearths a narrative of paranoia, intertwined with hope for eternal rule. The technology preserved through this method shows advanced decay prevention knowledge, which includes radar blocking layers and near-vacuum storage conditions. The research establishes new burial practices which ancient societies used while demonstrating the innovative developments of the Qin dynasty. The hidden chamber functions as a biological time capsule which presents a major archaeological and forensic scientific mystery. The political situation develops into an important matter. The tomb transforms into a site for power conflicts and secret activities because the emperor's actual body remains missing and may be hidden within the underground capital or lost to time. The Terracotta Army serves as an effective distraction which obscures a fundamental truth that threatens established historical accounts of Qin governance and death. Beneath the surface lies a complex interplay of life, death, and legacy, a silent testament to an emperor who engineered his immortality in the darkest depths beneath the Terracotta Army. Deadly traps and mercury defenses. The tomb of Qin Shi Huang was not only a marvel of engineering, but also a fortress laden with lethal defenses designed to deter and destroy any intruders. Unlike typical burial sites, this tomb employed the surrounding landscape itself as a form of protection, transforming the earth into a deadly weapon. Layers of soil with varying densities created hidden slay zones beneath the surface, where even the smallest disturbance could trigger catastrophic collapses. These cascading avalanches of earth and stone could crush anyone foolish enough to dig in the wrong place, acting as an automatic sentinel without any need for human guards. Inside the tomb, the dangers continued. Albert Lin's scans revealed false floors placed strategically in critical chambers, thin, fragile surfaces resting above deep pits filled with jagged stones and metal shards. These pits were designed so no one who fell in would survive or even make a sound. Ancient texts describe these treacherous floors as meant only for the dead, warning living trespassers that they would fall forever into the abyss. These traps exemplify the brutal lengths the emperor's engineers went to in order to protect his resting place. Beyond physical traps, the tomb employed ingenious atmospheric and chemical defenses. Magnetic imaging uncovered sealed air pockets containing almost no oxygen that could suffocate intruders if opened inadvertently. These are primitive yet effective gas chambers, relying on the natural movement of air to pull breathable oxygen away from anyone who disturbed the tomb's hidden passages. No guards or machines were needed. The tomb itself was a self-sustaining death trap. Some chambers were constructed like airtight vaults with compressed mud bricks sealed under thick resin layers. If these chambers were breached, the sudden release of pressure could blast tunnels apart or crush intruders instantly. This system worked similarly to a vacuum bomb, harnessing earth and air pressure as weapons without any use of explosives or metal weaponry. Such technology was far ahead of its time, revealing a sophisticated grasp of physics by Qin's engineers. The mound soil samples display mercury levels that exceed natural background levels by more than 100 times. Historical records describe the tomb as having rivers of liquid mercury, which Lin's team found to include channels that moved mercury vapor through narrow tunnels. If a breach occurred, toxic mercury gas would surge out, poisoning anyone nearby before they realized the danger. The chemical defense system used mercury to create a deadly weapon, which operated silently through invisible means by using gravity. Satellite images show that the tomb builders created the outer mound to look like natural geological features, which include erosion patterns to hide the extensive underground system from sight. The original researchers believed that the hills developed through natural processes, although they actually built these hills to create a protective barrier which concealed the tomb from both attackers and grave robbers. The tomb security system used natural elements as a protective measure, which would create visual distractions that would extend the time needed to find the tomb. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of history's greatest mysteries, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss our next uncovering of the past's most shocking secrets.